long as we took them back to Tennessee. Right now we got about 60 some animals. We have a few more mules and horses, so we use 2 mules instead of 1 horse. They work 5 days a week, get 2 days off. We keep them in the city for 3 weeks and put them on the farm for a week. They do not work on the farm. I'm Ron. I've lived in Charleston all my life except for the 4 years in the Coast Guard. First 2 years over on the big island of Hawaii. The next 2 years they put me on the West Wind and Icebreaker. So I spent 2 years between Northern Greenland and the Great Lakes. Came back to Charleston, worked for the Navy, repairing submarines for 25 years until they made land, man-made land, landfill. This is filled in about 1800. The marsh was built in 1807 at the fruit market. Belongs to the city. Somebody took a 30-year lease and put $5 million fixing it up, so y'all enjoy it. That part of the market closes at 6. This part closes when they feel like it. That church up there, St. Philip's, that's the oldest congregation in the city, going back to 1680. It was the Church of England. It's now an Episcopal church. And that church replaces the church that burnt in the Great Fire of 1835. It was a boarding house back there for sailors. It burnt, the church burned, it burned all the way back to where the barn is. The church was rebuilt in 1838, and we had the Great Fire of 1838. The gates were done in 1820. The gates were made of wrought iron. Each piece of iron was welded together. Another spelling on Forche. Unitarian church, oldest Unitarian church in the South. Not the only one in the South. And you can walk from there back to King Street. The cemetery is not overgrown. It's been landscaped like that since 1800. It was built in around 1880. There wasn't much construction in Charleston in the 1860s and 70s. Because of the war and reconstruction, they rebuilt this Craft Elementary School. That's now in condominium. We had a young girl in there from Chicago. She looks like it's very hurricane-proof. Great myrtle trees. Jew lived. He didn't like Catholics. So he put his menorah up the eaves of his house when they walked down the mass. They had to look at his menorah. That's not a menorah, and he wasn't Jewish. That's where Mr. Cohen was the Jewish man. He lived in the white church. Look at the red of the Japanese nation. Bed damage that you repair damage. Now that building survived the fire and the earthquake. And that was built in the 1880s. More of these single houses. Only find these here in Charleston. As a rule, they built right on the border of the property, right up to the sidewalk where there's a porch. It usually indents a little bit. Professor Stockton says that's an architectural relief. The city says so you don't trip over the first step. No front yards to the garden to the side yard. Very few windows on the neighbor's side. It was impolite looking at the neighbor's piazza. That was a convent in the 1950s. They have a nice side yard here. The building on the corner was a condominium. down. It was used in the miniseries North-South. That's where they came into the city to get away from the summer sickness, malaria. They didn't know what caused it. They just knew it was healthier in the city.
Did it work? Did he stay single?
I think he did. The big house was used in the miniseries North-South. They didn't show the Victorian addition, just the bottom 2 floors. And the popular place for weddings here in Charleston.
Yeah.
Over to the right, you see the town turned out. You think you all in. See that steel was back. The ladies would walk out one side, the gentlemen the other side, so the ladies' ankles couldn't be seen. I'm not too sure about that. I got into my grandfather's attic and got a hold of some of the letters that should have been burnt back in 1880. And the boys back then claimed they saw more than the neighbors. For the hang the king in effigy. There is a program that brought the kids in town to serve that after. Off, other than the man's lip off. What Judge Bay did was put them both in the same cell, gave permission to bite when they wanted to bite. St. Michael's is the oldest church structure in the city. The cornerstone was laid in 1752. This is the intersection of what Ripley called the 4 corners of law. There's the church, the city hall, the county courthouse, and the federal courthouse. So it's the law of God. And that was an SO service station. The hotel that survived the fire of 1861, but it didn't survive renovation. When they went to renovate, they had to tear it down and rebuild it.